Coming up on the February 17th edition of Sports Extra. The men's basketball team's loss against Virginia had many fans feeling a sense of deja vu and the wrong kind of buzz.
The Diamond Heels brought out the brooms to kick off the season. How sweet it is.
And another Tar Heel team is in the hunt for a national championship only a week after the most recent Natty. All that and so much more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
For the second Monday in a row, a Tar Heel sports team will be playing for a national championship. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Brian Gallagher.
And I'm Kirsten Clark. Last weekend, it was the women's tennis team attempting to claim ITA glory. This weekend, it's the men's. The men's tennis team headed into the weekend hoping to duplicate what the women did last weekend by winning a national title at the ITA indoors. The Heels beat South Carolina 4-2 on Friday, shut out Florida 4-0 on Saturday, and then did the same to top-ranked Ohio State yesterday in the semifinals. And so the stage is set. Carolina and Southern Cal are just about to get underway in the championship match. USC made it to the final by beating Michigan 4-3. Could it be that Carolina wins the national championships on 2 successive Mondays? We should know in the next few hours.
The men's basketball team took on the defending national champions, the Virginia Cavaliers, this past Saturday, trying to inch back towards some respectability. And look who showed up. We got Kenny Williams, Luke May, what appears to be Luke May's clone, and Cameron Johnson in the house. In this matchup, the Heels played another close one. This time around, there were 16 lead changes as Cole Anthony hits the dagger. Armando Bacot was huge for Carolina, grabbing 16 rebounds. Garrison Brooks was the leading scorer for the Heels with 20 points, and he was rocking. Look at those glasses. He's got the rec specs on. Now with 10 seconds left, Christian Keeling hits his free throw to give UNC the lead. However, UVA answered back with a great pump fake that led to a wide open three, leaving 0.3 of a second on the clock. And unfortunately, Cole Anthony's desperation shot falls short as the Heels lose 64-62.
I told him I thought that we didn't react very well to a bitter defeat against Duke when we went to Wake Forest. We got to react better now. It's a quick turnaround. The game is filled with a lot of things that are extremely high, and then some lows are as low as you can possibly ever imagine. But you still got to keep coming back and keep playing.
This season has been unlike any other for Carolina fans who can't help but wonder, why do the Heels keep losing? UNC has been hot and cold, hitting 50% of their shots against Virginia. Turnovers have consistently been an issue for the team. They're averaging about 13.2 per game, but one of the biggest weakest points of the team has been the lack of bench players or their inability to perform when called in. The subs were outscored 17-0 against the Cavs. To talk more about the recent sadness surrounding the men's basketball team, we have basketball analyst Aaron Jenkins live in studio. Aaron?
Saturday's game left a familiar sting for Tar Heels, with Carolina losing in dramatic fashion in the last seconds. For the second Saturday in a row, UNC was ahead as the game was ending. There were 16 lead changes throughout the game and 8 ties. Carolina had every chance to win, but it feels like the opponents have made every possible buzzer-beating shot. The Heels are so short-handed that it's hard to expect much from the team at this point. Cole Anthony was taken down in the second half of this game with an elbow to the head. With the blood coming from a large cut, Anthony was seen yelling, "Why am I always getting hurt?" This question seems to sum up Carolina's season. Carolina's points came only from the 5 starting players, with Garrison Brooks leading the charge with 20. Christian Keeling was also a hot shooter with 11 crucial points. Keeling put the Heels up by 1 with 10 seconds left, but Virginia's three-pointer went in when it mattered to make the score 64-62 with less than a second remaining. Carolina couldn't hit the long half-court attempt. The Heels shot an even 50% on field goals. This was higher than Virginia's shooting percentage, but the last-second clutch shot put the Hoos over the top. And now Roy and the boys will take on Notre Dame tonight in another ACC matchup. The first meeting against the Fighting Irish went in the Tar Heels' favor, but that Carolina team was totally different. In his debut, Cole Anthony scored 34 points, but fans are all wondering, can they do it again this far into a losing season? Notre Dame has improved as the season went on. The Irish are now 6-8 in the ACC compared to Carolina's 3-11. Notre Dame had a tough loss to Duke on Saturday by 34 points. John Mooney is leading the Irish with 16 points per game. The physical forward will be looking to score big points in the paint, and Carolina's bigs will need to step up to defend to earn the win. Notre Dame will be looking for revenge tonight, and the Heels still have a long and daunting road ahead in conference play. They'll take on top 10 ranked Louisville and Duke in the upcoming weeks. The odds of the Heels playing well in the postseason are looking slimmer and slimmer, and the team faces the very real prospect of the first losing season in the Roy Williams era. Back to you guys.
That's Aaron Jenkins live in studio for you. Thanks, Aaron.
Men's basketball isn't the only squad disappointing Heels fans. Women's basketball flew north Sunday morning to take on Boston College, trying to snap a 3-game losing skid. Taylor Coonan got the scoring going for the Heels, powering through the lane, laying it in for an easy 2. She had 15 points in the game. Here, Malu Shatinge grabs a rebound, passes up to senior guard Shayla Bennett, who drives the court, holds up and drips in a floater. Bennett led Carolina with 17 points and 9 rebounds. The Eagles threaten to pull away, but Bennett keeps the Heels in striking distance with a step-back 3. But in the end, UNC just couldn't keep up and loses this one on the road, 93-75. Carolina has only 3 more chances to make a statement during the regular season. The Heels are 16-10 overall, 7-8 in the conference. They play at Wake Forest on Sunday, followed by another road game against Notre Dame. The Tar Heels will finish up with a rivalry matchup versus the Duke Blue Devils on Sunday, March 1st at 2 p.m. in Carmichael Arena. Not an easy slate of games for a struggling team. And then it's ACC tournament time in Greensboro.
The men's lacrosse team made history on Saturday in a game against the Lafayette Leopards. The Heels notched 300 home wins after an impressive performance. Lafayette kept the game interesting for the first 2 quarters, with the Heels leading by only 5 heading into halftime. But after the whistle blew for the 3rd quarter, the Heels showed no mercy. I mean, look at this rocket from midfielder Harrison Schertzinger. Brian Cameron made it look easy too with a diving lob into the Leopards' net. The Tar Heels had 16 different point scorers, with 15 of them setting 26 new career records. After a historic performance, the Heels take the win 24-8.
Almost 50 goals in 2 weekend matches for the high-flying women's lacrosse team. This team is looking very strong. First, the Heels traveled to High Point Friday night to take on the Lady Panthers. 11 different players scored as UNC exploded for 15 first-half goals. Junior Jamie Ortega led the team with 6 goals, including this shot where Ortega drives to the middle and sends the ball into the net. In the second half, the Heels put away 9 more goals. Check this out. Junior Scotty Rose Groney sends the ball right past the keeper on a free-for-position shot. The Heels cruise to a 24-3 win against number 25, High Point. On Sunday, the Heels snagged a big win against Davidson. Senior attacker Katie Hogue led the team with 6 assists, including on this behind-the-back goal by Taylor Warheim. Hogue also scored 2 goals, both assisted by junior Jamie Ortega. This pair never stops. Ortega receives a pass from Hogue and quickly fires it to the back of the net. Ortega scored 5 goals on just 5 shots, including this one that bounced through the goalie's legs. With 12 different scores, the Heels took down Davidson 22-5 and improves to 3-0.
It's nowhere close to summer, but the boys of summer are back in action at the Bosch.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
It's officially springtime in Chapel Hill as the baseball team opened up its season at the Bosch with a series against Middle Tennessee State. In Game 1, Joey Lancelletti threw 5 solid innings with 5 strikeouts. For the Heels, not only did he lead on the mound, he also had a stellar performance at the plate. But the biggest surprise of the day for UNC was the excellent debut of freshman catcher Eric Grintz. He finished with 2 hits and 4 RBIs. The Heels win the game 15-3. In the second game of the series, it was the Blue Raiders who scored in the first inning as Bryce Thompson hits a deep sac fly to center field to score Cole Erskine. The Heels remain scoreless until Dylan Harris goes yard in the 8th, hitting a deep bomb to the right field. In the bottom of the 9th, the score was still tied, and Joey Lancelletti sends the Tar Heel fans home happy with a walk-off home run. Carolina wins 2-1. In the second inning on Sunday, Aaron Sabato hits a double down left field line as Kyle Smith is able to score all the way from first base. The Heels lead 2-0 early. The very next at-bat, Danny Soretti hits a hard ground ball in the middle, and Sabato scores from second base, extending the lead 3-0. In the next inning, Patrick Alvarez hits a double to left field as Angel Zarate scores easily, giving the Tar Heels a 4-2 lead. In the top of the 9th, Austin Love gets a save as he gets the Raiders hitter to pop out, and the Heels complete the sweep with a 5-4 win. And joining us from Bochner Stadium is our own Caroline Boyer. Caroline?
Brian and Kirsten, with one B-ball season coming to an end, it's time for fans to put all their hope in another, baseball. The Diamond Heels started off their season this weekend with a bang. The Heels took it to Middle Tennessee and outscored the Raiders 22-8 across the 3-game series, including a 15-3 thrashing on Friday. 2020 marks the 3rd time in the past 4 years that the Diamond Heels have started with a sweep in their opening series. And we can't talk about this weekend's series without mentioning the standout performance of junior Joey Lancelletti. Lancelletti started the opening game for the Tar Heels, throwing 5 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings pitched. To add to his impressive outing, he had 2 hits and 2 runs batted in as part of Friday's demolition. And Saturday added to Lancelletti's hero status as he swatted the walk-off home run to lift the Heels past the Blue Raiders in Game 2. By embracing his inner Babe Ruth at the Bosch, Lancelletti made sure the road to Omaha started without any speed bumps. Lancelletti and the Diamond Heels will take the field again on Tuesday against Elon here at the Bosch. And with this red-hot start to the season, you're not going to want to miss this. Back to you guys.
That's Caroline Boyer from Bochner Stadium. Thanks, Caroline.
On the softball field, the Heels took part in the ACC Big Ten Challenge during the weekend in Chapel Hill. The Heels opened up against 10th-ranked Michigan on Friday. The Tar Heels fell behind early, allowing 3 runs in the second inning. Then with 1 runner on base, Brittany Pickett smashed a home run to narrow the gap. Katie Perkins tied the game at 3 with an RBI, all in the second inning. Despite great pitching from Pickett, Carolina couldn't back her up with the gloves. The Heels failed to score for the remainder of the game, losing on a late run in the 7th inning, 4-3. Game 3 of the weekend saw Carolina going up against Wisconsin. Abby Settlemeyer had a 2 RBI night, and Hannah George had 7 strikeouts in her second complete game. Head coach Donna Papa was able to pick up her 1,300th career win with the 4-3 victory. In the final game on the challenge on Sunday, Carolina was down 2-0 after the first inning against Wisconsin, but in the 4th inning, Zoe Goodman knocked one out of the park. The 3-run homer gives Carolina the lead 3-2. It stayed that way until the bottom of the 6th inning when Wisconsin batter Kayla Conway hit a grand slam homer to give the Badgers the lead once again. The Heels fall short 8-3. They'll be back in action on Tuesday at 5 p.m. as they take on the NC Central Eagles.
The wrestling team took on 2 top 20 opponents this weekend and sent them both packing. The Heels beat 9th-ranked Pitt 22-14 on Saturday and took on 17th-ranked Cornell on Sunday. Against Cornell on Sunday, the Heels started the meet strong with 4 straight wins. Austin O'Connor beat his opponent 10-3, and Clay Lout didn't allow any points, winning his match 6-0 in the 174-pound division. Sophomore Brandon Whitman had an impressive performance against number 3 Ben Dramstad, winning in a 6-2 decision. Joey Melendez secured the dual meet win for North Carolina with a fall victory against his opponent. The Heels win 21-13 and will be back in action on Friday going up against Virginia in Charlottesville.
When you're successful, the key is to pick up where you left off. The women's tennis team held court in its first match after being crowned Natty champs.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Fresh off its victory in the ITA National Indoor Championship, the women's tennis team returned home for an in-state doubleheader on Saturday. First up, East Carolina. The Heels came out strong by sweeping the doubles, taking an early 1-0 lead. UNC also took all three of the game's singles points as Allie Sanford, Elizabeth Scotty, and Sophia Patel beat their opponents in 2 sets. Sanford and Scotty dominated their opponents, closing out their second set 6-0. Sophia Patel ended the match in her second set. Carolina earned a 4-0 win for the 4th match in a row. At the end of the match, the Tar Heels unveiled their national championship banner, their 4th in 8 years. The Heels took on UNC Charlotte on Saturday. McKenna Jones and Casey Harvey won the doubles point for UNC, giving the Heels a 1-0 lead early. In singles, Carolina's Sarah Davatilla won her match without losing a game, while 7th-ranked Alexa Graham finished off the competition, winning her match in straight sets. Senior Allie Sanford wrapped up the match for the Heels also in straight sets, giving Carolina the 4-0 sweep against Charlotte.
The track team took part in 2 different meets during this weekend, and there were plenty of PRs. At the David Hemme Valentine Invitational, Jesse Hunt, Alex Milligan, and Brandon Tubby all reached personal records in the men's mile. Hunt entered the 2020 indoor season with a personal best of 4:20.43 and has taken 17 seconds off that time. Hunt and Milligan move into the top 10 in the ACC in the men's mile. At the Tiger Paw Invitational in Clemson, South Carolina, Brianna Eisels had a new PR in the women's triple jump, sailing more than 40 feet. Draven Christ matched his season best with a clearance of 6 feet 11.5 inches in the men's high jump. And Isaiah Palmer ran a season best time of 47.08 in the 400 meter.
The gymnastics team headed to Raleigh this weekend for a tri-meet. Senior Kazia Hislop tied her career high score on the floor routine, tying for first place in the event. On vault, Hislop led the team, taking first with yet another career high score. Freshman Elizabeth Colton tied for first on the uneven bars, in addition to tying for second in the all-around competition. However, the standout performances weren't enough, and UNC took third in the meet. The Heels will be back in action tonight in Carmichael at 6 p.m. against New Hampshire.
Before we end the show, we got to give a little birthday shout out to who? Who,
MJ,
Kirsten?
I heard it's MJ's birthday.
Michael Jordan, 57 years old.
He's getting up there, Brian.
He really is. Still the GOAT, though.
Still can't guard him either.
I can't either. That'll be it for this edition of Sports Extra. Thanks for watching.